Hello everyone and welcome to episode 9 of Daily Flip. I'm about to walk you outside and just show you a few things that I'm actually working on right now. Otherwise today's been a little bit slow. There's not been a lot of foot traffic. We don't have a ton of cars outside right now that are actually ready to roll. There's 4 currently out there, technically 5. We've got one in the back that we've got to put a CV joint and a water pump on. It'll be out there tomorrow. My mechanic is sick today. He normally does a Tuesday through Friday schedule, so he's out today, I think with the flu. So that slows us down a little bit on popping some cars out there. We had our Saturn Outlook, which is, like I just mentioned, the CV joint and a water pump away from being ready. We've got a Jaguar that I think I'm about to finish up. I'll show you what I've done to that one. We've got several others that I'll probably mention while we're outside. Actually ran into a really big, I guess you could call it a big problem. It can be resolved. It's going to cost me a few $100s. I'll get to that in a minute. So anyway, we've got a windshield out that can't go back in, so that's no fun. So we'll get to that, but let's walk outside. I'll show you what I'm working on right now. When my mechanic is out, we kind of have stuff that's stuck. We can't really roll on it, but there's a few things that I'm taking care of today, just getting some stuff ahead for us. This is a 2004 Jaguar, what is this, an X-Type 6-cylinder. The battery was actually held in with these, which is not good. When a customer comes to look at it, it's going to draw their eye. And on top of that, it was shaking around. Those being bungee cords, you can't really hold it tight with a bungee cord, so I came behind. And first I thought it was the wrong battery. I thought maybe it was too big. This actually is the correct battery. But what I did was come behind with some zip ties, such as this. These are one of the most handy things you can have, on hand at all times when you're doing auto repair. Just to put things together, keep things together. They would go together like so. They then lock in, they won't come out, so you can hold on pretty well. So what I've done is I put one, I don't know if we can even see this with the camera. We've put one over here and we've brought it around the front over the lip of the battery back in here, and it's held it to where we can't push it. The reason this doesn't need to slide, if you can look right here, we've got a pulley and a belt, and if this battery was to slide over, which it would have if someone had took a sharp turn before, it would have hit this pulley and could have eventually ate into the battery. That's going to be a major problem. We could damage the engine, we could damage the battery. It wouldn't have been a good day. So we took care of it by securing it. There's no way that's going to slide over there. And so I left this here just to show you. I also put one down here. When you have excess like this, you can take a razor blade such as this and you can trim it, and then it's not as visible, it's not as noticeable. We've got another one in the back. Then I'm going to come in with my razor blade. I'm going to trim that down. And now when someone opens the hood, if they're looking really close, they may see that, they may ask about it, but most folks are going to look over it. They're not even going to notice that. And we've saved ourselves the hassle of having to deal with that issue. So these are very handy. If you ever need to extend one, if you have them that aren't long enough, you can put them into one another, such as this, and then you can join them together. This is one that I put together and wasn't able to use because I couldn't fit it through the loop, so I just kind of have these extra. But if you need to extend them, you can do so just like that. Next, we're on to one that needs some touch-up paint. This is a 2007 Ford Explorer. It's pretty much good. I thought I had the right touch-up paint on the shelf. I ended up not. The way that I generally do my touch-up paint, as opposed to buying the little pre-made ones at Advance or Walmart that you can buy right on the shelf, this is actually from a paint supply, auto body paint supply store. I called them, gave them my paint code on this one, which was, I don't see it on here, but I'll show you where you find it. On most vehicles, and it's locked, if I was to open this door, there'll be a sticker with our VIN number. It would be right there. My door's locked, so I can't do that. But what I'm going to do is take this, I'm going to open it up, and you usually want to shake this up a little bit. This cost me $14 and some change. If I was to buy the pre-made ones that are like half an ounce from Advance, you're going to pay about the same. For this, I get 4 ounces. So we take the lid off. I like to use these. It's what they call a micro applicator. We'll put a link to these and a lot of the other stuff I mentioned in the post below. You'll a lot of times find these actually in like a cosmetic type setting. So if you find them on Amazon, it might even say for nails. I guess they use them to paint nails or to do eyelashes. I don't know. But either way, these work really well for touch-up paint. All that we're going to do is dip it in our touch-up paint. You want to be careful not to get too much because it would then run. But essentially all we're going to do is put it on like so. And this is a direct or an exact match of our factory color. There's several different brands and qualities you can buy. This is one of the higher qualities, and I'm forgetting the name of the actual brand, but it would only cost a few extra dollars to get the nice one like I did, so it was worth my time, and $3 to have a more exact match. Sometimes you will have to come back a second time with a second coat if it's a darker color plastic underneath. This might need a second coat, but our main goal here is not to make it perfect, it's to make it not catch someone's eye. So if we were to walk back to where I'm at right now and look at that spot, you're just scanning the vehicle, that's not going to catch your eye like that would catch your eye. This was the same color as that. It's a plastic bumper, so it's more of like a grayish plastic. So our goal is to have this as opposed to that. So I'll be coming by here in a minute and taking care of those. We've got some here, and I'll walk around the whole vehicle with my applicator. We'll dab it and touch it up. So that is the touch-up paint. Next, we had a really big problem today that happened to occur. I thought it was going to be a simple fix. You may have seen mentioned in some of the others. This Jeep Liberty, that we had a small, what I thought was a small issue that I thought I could correct. Unfortunately, when I had the windshield put in, I was still having a little leak after I sealed it. I had him come by because I thought maybe it was the windshield, and then we ended up with this. When he pulled it off, I thought there might be a small hole right in here, and he came out and he said, "Hey man, you need to look at this." So we've got a massive hole here and a massive hole here. What I fixed was just right there. I couldn't see any of this. When it came through the auction, I completely missed this. There's no way I could have seen any of that. If I'd have been looking really close, I could have, probably should have seen that right there, the bubbling up. I just missed it. I wasn't even looking. So I get to, tomorrow, drive just like this with no windshield, which I've always thought would be cool, but now that I have to do it, it doesn't sound so cool. So we've got it drying out inside. Our carpet was wet. We've had some rain, so that's how we discovered that what I did not fix it. So we'll have to remove this light assembly. This is actually a factory light assembly. It's a small bolt. There was 6 of them that held it on, so this will be removed. He'll come in, he'll fix this, he'll Bondo this in, he'll Bondo, probably cut this out, fix that. We'll then mount everything back on, and this one will be good. That will take care of our water leak, and it'll be ready to sail. Not what I wanted to find when we took out the windshield, so sometimes you lose. And this will probably cost me, I don't know, $200-300 to have my body guy fixed. The important thing is that he has it nice and flush, so the windshield will mount properly so that we don't develop another leak, because we want the seal to match up. So that was a problem. Next is this one here. As you can see, I have a can of R134A Freon. This is refrigerant for the AC system. This is one we bought at auction not long ago. Actually did it live on YouTube if you maybe were watching a 2006 Mercury Montego. I've been a little busy and haven't got around to finishing this one, so I drove it today just to have the final check, and the AC wasn't blowing properly. So I'm gonna go start it really quick, and then we will get to it. Actually, follow me inside. We've got to get the keys. This being the daily flip, we try not to do as much editing, if any, as possible. So I'm just showing you my day. I forgot the key inside, so that's unfortunately part of my day. Forgetting things, I do that a lot. But tomorrow, coming up with my mechanic being in, our goal will be to have the Jaguar out. This BMW, if you'll turn the camera and actually show that as we walk out. This is another one that's gonna be ready really quick. I ended up being a catalytic converter that's bad on this one, then this one's ready. Our pickup truck here is really close. For me as a dealer, I have to have them emissions inspected before I can sell them. We're almost done with this one. I'm down to 2 readiness monitors. In North Carolina, if it's 2001 and above, you can only have 1, so I'm almost there on this one. The Jeep is body damage fixed, windshield in, interior put back together, done. This one just needs a rear wheel bearing. I believe it's the left-hand side, and our AC wasn't blowing cold, so I'm gonna start it, and I'm gonna show you exactly how you put Freon in a vehicle. So, if you're adding Freon, if you ever start a car and leave it running, roll the window down so you don't lock the keys in the car. When you come over here, there will be a gauge on this line. Now, we have this plugged in the back. You can't see it, but there's a port just like this in the back. It's slightly smaller. This is the high side. for the AC, and the back is a slightly smaller version of this, and they're going to be different places on different cars. But this one's in the back. It was kind of hard to see, but we're not quite all the way there. We'd like this to be up to halfway in between the 40 and 50 to really have a good charge. So hopefully we don't have a leak, but you're going to hear this charge. This one's empty. We're then going to screw this one in just like that, and then we turn this down. This is going to puncture the top of the can, and then we're going to turn it back out to allow the Freon to flow. Right now, you're going to see this gauge start to work itself down, and it's going to establish a baseline closer to where it was before. Right now, the AC compressor, which you can't see because it's down there, is sucking this Freon in. So when the compressor engages, it naturally pulls this into the system. If you ever have an AC compressor that you're not sure if it's working, a great way to tell if it is to actually look at your AC compressor. On the outside of your AC compressor, there's a little wheel that turns. There will be a piece in the middle that should be moving as well. When you hear a click coming from the engine, which is usually the AC, it's that compressor engaging. Right now our compressor is engaged and it's pulling the Freon in. This is actually getting really cold. This will get some condensation on it. Eventually it'll freeze. This is reacting. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to leave it right here. I'm going to walk inside and show you what this right here does. This is an infrared thermometer. So whatever we point it at, it's going to tell us the temperature, such as the side of the car is currently 112.1 degrees. We would like for our AC to begin cooling and to get close to 30 something degrees. Right now we are at 66. If I give it some power through the pedal, it's going to increase the power of the engine, which will suck in a little more Freon. We are 59. It's going to continue to drop a little. As that can continues to suck into the system, this number will continue to drop. I had a friend stop by this morning that I helped him with his AC. We got his down to 29 degrees. Not every car is going to get down to 29 degrees, but if you're in that 30 something, you're generally good. If it's a really hot day in the middle of the summer, it's 97 degrees outside, you might not get your temperature down that low. Most AC systems are made to take your temperature down 30 degrees from the actual temperature outside. So when you get up in the 90s, close to 100, it gets more difficult. Right now I'm down to 46.5. It's steadily dropping. The more Freon it takes in, the more that I'm going to be able to know that it's actually working. So we're at 45, drop it down to 44. So what I do as that's taken it in, I come back around front, and we're going to watch this needle here as it continues to drop. Some vehicles will take it in faster than others. This one's actually taking it in really slow. It usually helps if this is a little warmer, so sometimes I'll leave it somewhere on the engine that's warm. Be careful that you don't let your hose touch a belt. Be careful that you don't let your hose touch exhaust or anything that's moving or hot, because you're going to damage the belt. So I'm going to put this somewhere up in here, and we're going to leave it. I'm going to walk and do some other stuff, and I'm going to come back later, and hopefully our AC is ice cold. So we're going to walk inside. We'll finish up the video. Some stuff we've been working on a lot lately are things having to do with our online presence for the car flip and the carflipcourse.com. We've been working towards getting our podcast up and going. I'll show you as we walk inside what that entails for me right now, which is a lot of stuff that I'm not the most familiar with. Things like this. This is a mixer, which allows this microphone over here to mix in here to go into the computer. So we've got several things that are new that we're learning. So I'm looking forward to getting that up so that we can actually have some stuff that you can take part in from the car flip and not actually have to be watching like you are right now. So maybe you're at the gym or you're driving to work and you can actually listen to me answer other people's questions and teach on car flipping without you actually having to be watching. So hopefully you're not right on the road watching this right now. But we'll have a way that you actually could consume similar content in the future. Other than that, tomorrow my mechanic's going to be in. We're going to have several vehicles we're going to be adding to the front line. Hopefully, you'll know tomorrow because I'll show you in our next daily flip. Otherwise, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.